It's finally here, everyone. The Total Drama Island reboot we've all been waiting for. There's been a lot of speculation on when the next Total Drama Island series will come out ever since the Redonkulous race. And no, I'm not counting Total Dramarama. If you're anything like me, you grew up with the Total Drama series, and it's something you hold near and dear to your heart, so I'm going to be pretty defensive about this show. But with all that said, let's get into the first episode. Chris gives us an intro on what the series is going to be like, just like how he did in previous seasons. He even mentions it's been 15 years since the first season, so I'm assuming every season before this is canon. After he gives his speech, we get a look at the intro song, and it's horrible, just flat out bad. As a kid, I would sing along to the Total Drama theme song, but this one is just horrible. I'm sorry. At the end of the song, when at the campfire, Chris and Chef give a look to each other that gives a little sexual tension in the air. I don't know if that's just me, let me know what y'all think. At the dock, Chris starts to introduce the new contestants, and to save you and me some time, I'm not gonna go crazy in depth with these introductions. First up is Millie, who wants to research her generation and why people are so dumb nowadays. Next up is Axel, who is a survivalist and is always prepared for anything. For example, zombies. So is she just the girl version of the guy who won Pockettail Island? After her is Priya, who's been trained to go into the Total Drama series just in case there was ever a reboot. Next up is Z, who is just a laid back guy, nothing else to say about. The next camper is Ripper, and he's just this season's pathetic bully, but he did make a good point.
Did you know that pooping in a stranger's purse on a bus is a crime? Yet somehow, if I dropped brown crayons in my own pants, I wouldn't have a criminal record.
After him is Damien. He's never seen the show before, and he looks like a pretty funny guy, but I feel bad for him because he doesn't know what awaits for him. Next up is Lauren, and you could tell what her personality is just looking at her. I, for one, think she's cringy. After her is Bowie, and the first thing that comes out of his mouth is that he's the first openly gay contestant, and I hope this isn't his whole personality because TV shows have a tendency for making that happen. Next up is Chase, who's a streamer and got dumped by his girlfriend. And after him is his girlfriend Emma, so we're gonna get that plot a lot this season. Up next is Mary Kate, aka MK, and all we know about her is that she's a thief. After her is Caleb, who's basically the Justin of this season. Next up is Wayne and Raj, and they're just the best friends with a mouthpiece. And for being from Minnesota, they sound a lot more Canadian than anyone else there, and they're all supposed to be from Canada. After them is Nichelle LaDonna, I guess to be Michelle Madonna, I don't know, but she's just this TV star. And last is Julia, an influencer who's addicted to her phone. And, you know, she's a baddie. I know a lot of people are mad about how woke the show is now, but it really doesn't bother me that much. But I wish they would just cut all this influencer stuff out. It's so cringy. Chef goes on to give the team names the Ferocious Trout and the Frogs of Death. Chef's voice is definitely not the same, but it's not as noticeable as Chris's voice change, and when the contestants are voted off, instead of a boat, it's a drone flying them away. Sadly, another way too meta reference in the show. The Trout are at their cabins, and Priya is trying to choose a bed, but she has Axel and Lauren in her group, making it very hard to settle down. On the boys' side, Ripper's trying to bully Z, saying he wants whatever bed Z wants, but Z is way too chilled out for him to care. Also, Ripper might be an Andrew Tate fan.
Boom! Nobody messes with an alfalfa male.
At the Frogs boy cabin, we get this joke that actually did make me chuckle.
Our team is some real hotties.
For sure, eh?
Okay, if you're gonna talk about me, I'll give you some privacy.
But on the girls' side, Emma is still angry that her ex is there, and Bo is seeming to try and make an alliance with her. Now it's time for the first challenge.
This challenge is about learning to communicate and trust your new teammates. 2 players from each team will be tied together at the waist and navigate through this course to collect 2 buckets of disgusting fish chum. Then return to the towers and place the buckets on their platform.
For the Trout, Chase and Ripper are tied together, and for the Frogs, Wayne and Nichelle are tied together. Ripper, being incompetent, gets the pair thrown into a bucket of crabs, ripping his pants, showing his crack to everyone. This gives the Frogs an early lead, but Wayne got stung by one of the murder hornets, giving the Trout an opening to take the lead. We finally find out the reason why Emma and Chase broken up, and it's because he cut the brakes on her car, and Bowie just says this cringe wannabe joke.
Straight couples. Am I right? Straight couples are messed up.
I like Bowie, but these joke attempts made by the writers are so cringy, it makes no sense. The Frogs arguing over all this makes the Trout able to get their buckets first. The Frogs try to catch up, but with Emma's poor instructions, end up getting burnt by hot coals, meaning the Trout win and get to enjoy a nice feast. The Frogs are sending someone home tonight. At the campfire, Chef singles out Emma and Nichelle for their mistakes. First safe is Nichelle, probably for ratings. Then MK, after her, Bowie is safe. Then Julia, Wayne and Raj get the other 2, and 1 marshmallow remains. I'll let Chris say who gets out.
Emma!
What?
Yes! In your face! I'm sorry. That was really like, wow.
I don't get it. Look at me. Why am I going home? I was the strongest player on my team.
Yeah, I might have mentioned to a few people that Caleb looked unbeatable and voting him off now might be our only chance. I told you, I came for the crown.
Yeah, I got a feeling Bowie's going to be a Heather in this season. Sucks Caleb got out so early. Well, not really. He wasn't adding any substance to the show. But that was the first episode of the new season. I, for one, really enjoyed it. I'll be covering every episode, so stay tuned. In no order, my favorite characters so far are Damien, Priya, Wayne, Z, and Julia, because she's bad. Follow me on Instagram to stay updated, and I'll catch y'all later.